Hey, what's up guys, Chandler here. This is another Patreon early access video, so if you want to see early videos like this, or you want to support the channel going forward, feel free to head over to patreon.com/ChandlerBurtonEntertainment to join the $1 tier. You're going to get access to block videos, early access videos like this. You're also going to get shoutouts and videos and a whole bunch of other perks. So if you want to support the channel going forward, there's a link down below in the description and the pinned comment. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
You're listening to the Chandler Burton Podcast. Turn it up to 11 and rip the knob off. This is Chandler Burton.
Well, everybody, welcome back to the Chandler Burton Podcast. I'm your host, Chandler Burton, and today, I'm not going to lie to you, I've done a couple of interviews before and had conversations, but this is probably one of my most hyped ones so far. My boy Tyler, the vocalist of Hollowfront. How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing so good. I'm hyped. I'm hyped to talk to you.
Dude, you always make me feel so good, man. I love it. You're such a nice guy. I think people get that stigma of like, dude, these metalheads are just the most evil people ever, but then you meet someone like you who's an absolute sweetheart, dude. Is so freaking nice. So I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate you, bro. I have my grumpy moments. You know, I'm like any human being.
Yeah.
I'm not always, you know, but yeah, I know. I like you, so I'm excited to talk to you.
Yeah, man. I'm super excited. I like you too, man. I think you're awesome, dude. I'm excited. We'll talk about too how we kind of came into contact, but dude, how you feeling, man? How are you feeling after like the Dark Path tour? I know you guys had a unfortunate bus crash or van accident, and then like with your kidney stone. Like, how are you doing with all that, man?
Oh, it was a rough tour, like just mentally. It was I would call it a slog.
Yeah,
we were slogging along, and just like, you know, but I think it, you know, at the end, like we didn't quit, you know, and I think that really just shows like how bad we want it, because it could have been. After the van accident, it could have been so easy to be like, yeah, we're going home, you know.
Right.
Tail between your legs, throwing up the white flag.
Exactly.
But, you know, and honestly, like the first few moments after the accident, I thought that's how it was going to go. You know, I was like, that's it. We're fucked.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if you're supposed to
No.
on here.
Please. Yeah, you're good.
So, so I, you know, but we picked ourselves up and we kind of finished out the tour, and we hit a couple more bumps along the way, but it was a good experience just to finish.
Yeah.
And to say that we were able to you know, fight adversity, and you know, and you know, the uphill battle of, you know, losing a touring vehicle and having to get a new one, and we just worked really well together and we made it happen, and I'm pretty proud of us. You know, despite the fact that it was a pretty, you know, it was a down tour, you know, for the most part, but it was up too. It was just like, it had everything that we needed, to keep ourselves, you know, moving forward.
I love that, dude. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are okay. I'm glad you're okay, dude. I shot you a message about your kidney stone. I'm like, dude, I hope you're okay, and I hope that you can finish. Because, dude, I had a friend that had, like, 2 of them, and he said it was, like, seriously the worst. Someone said it's, like, the equivalent of giving birth to a child, that it was that painful. I'm like,
that's what the doctors kept telling me. My ex-wife wants to, she doesn't believe it. So I'm hoping she gets a kidney stone. So, I'm just kidding. We need to compare it, you know?
Yeah.
No, it was, that really sucked.
Oh, like, bad, dude.
It was day 3, and you know, I was already like, you know, because when you first start a tour, it's kind of, you got to knock off the dust, and I was just finally feeling like, yeah, the show we played the night before, I was like, that felt really good. I was like, all right, I'm back on my stride, you know.
Yeah, man.
And then the next day, I'm like, you know, just talking to Fit for a King, and we're chilling. It's warm. It's, you know, we left cold ass snowy Michigan to go down. We were in Texas.
Yeah.
beautiful weather, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a snow cone and have a
snow cone. I love it.
I'm gonna have a great day, and then like my back started hurting.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, what the frick, man? What is going on with my back?
Yeah.
I thought I pulled a muscle, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this sucks so bad. But then, yeah, I started sweating bullets.
Yeah.
I'm like feeling nauseous from the pain, and I'm just like, all right, take me to the hospital.
Dang.
And it sucked. I had to miss that show, and I spent like 9 hours at the ER.
Dude.
And yeah, when they told me I had a kidney stone, I was like, really?
I know, like on tour. Come on, man.
I was like, are you sure it's not just a pulled muscle? And
Yeah.
like, honestly, honestly, it's better that you have a kidney stone than a pulled muscle, because pulled muscle, you know, could never, you know, especially when I'm being on tour and doing shows, like I could continuously pull that muscle.
Right.
Like I peed out that kidney stone and didn't even know it, didn't even feel it. I felt it, you know, I felt the initial like passing.
Right.
But after it was gone, I was like, sweet. And they let me go. And I went back to the show, and I literally got to the show like 10 minutes after it ended. So I talked to some fans. They were upset that they didn't get to see me, but they were just happy I was okay.
Yeah, man.
And then we continued on our way. And it was
dang, dude.
I hope that never happens to me again.
I hope not either, dude. Seriously, man.
They say that once you have it, there's a good chance you'll get it again. So I'm just
wonderful. You're just waiting. That's like a waiting game. Yeah. That sucks, dude. Who covered for you when you had to miss that show?
So that was Benny Scholl of Avoid. Like,
okay.
He knew some of the songs kind of, and he listened to them, but he pretty much went up there and freestyled.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the band that our fans were hoping to see, you know,
right.
But they at least got to experience it, and it was cool because a few people that came to that show took the trip and came to see us at like Dallas, Houston, or San Antonio. Mm-hmm. So some of those people did get to see me, you know, perform. And they're like, "We're so happy you're here," you know. Like, I'm just like, you know, and I was just happy to not have a kidney stone anymore.
Yeah.
I remember because and it's funny that you mentioned the pregnancy, having a baby or giving birth or whatever. Because I was doing that. I was like, I gotta remember us being, because I have 2 kids, so I remember the birthing process, and I'm just like, I gotta get through this, and I just felt like I don't think I could have a baby,
dude. No,
I would.
No.
I don't wish that pain on anyone.
Oh, dude, I can't even imagine. I'm like, dude, like, now that I'm older, I was telling Mom, like, you know, thank you just for enduring this, because, dude, it looks so painful, and it looks just
like, where's miserable. Where's my epidural?
Seriously, dude.
They don't give me an epidural for a kidney stone.
Oh, gosh, man. Oh, dude, I'm sorry, man. And, dude, I'm sorry I missed the Portland date, dude. I just, for some reason, like,
We missed the Portland date because of the accident.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, again, I'm glad you guys are okay. So, oh, man, dude, I was going to say, I probably could have filled in for you guys if you guys could have played if you were still out. But, like, you know, I know most of the songs. I can get down.
You probably know the songs better than Benny did. I heard your scream. I didn't know you screamed, and I heard you posted something yesterday. Or you sound good, bro.
Thanks, dude. A lot of people say I sound like Eric from I Prevail, so I'm like, that's pretty cool. And
I want to go back and listen to it now with that in mind.
Well, it's cool because it's technically not my project. I'm just featuring on my friend's song. He's making his debut album. Yeah, that's coming out here. It's coming out at the end of the year, but the song that he wanted me to feature on comes out on May 20th, and yeah, it's called What Have I Become? Just like a mental health type song and pushing forward and those types of things. So yeah, dude, I've been screaming since like high school, so I've been doing it for a long time. People don't assume that because I'm this big old brown dude, and they think I'm like into rap or some other stuff. I'm like, dude, I've been screaming for so long. Yeah. So yeah, man, it's been super cool. I do have questions about your screaming too, but we will definitely chat about that. But I appreciate that, dude, coming from a monster vocalist of yourself, dude. I think
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, dude, absolutely, man. But I also got to ask really quick. I know you've just been home for a little while. You played any more Horizon, dude? I haven't played it in a while. I haven't.
Oh, I've been playing.
Have you?
That's all I've been playing.
That's all you've been playing.
I took a little break to play a game called Sifu. I don't know if you heard of Sifu.
I've never heard of that.
It's like a martial arts game, but it's very like timing based.
Yeah.
Hard as shit. It's like the Elden Ring of Kung Fu.
Oh.
And I kept getting my ass kicked, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going back to Horizon where I'm having a lot of fun playing Horizon. It's very fun. I'm like level 33 now, so I've been grinding.
Yeah, man, sounds like it, dude. I haven't played it in a while because for some odd reason I've been on a weird like Mario Kart kick. I've been trying to get the 200cc, trying to beat all that, get all the cups. I don't know. It's been a weird like I play Switch and PlayStation, so I just go back and forth.
Whatever you're as long as you're enjoying it, that's all that matters.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I appreciate that. Also, I can't play Elden Ring because I get too frustrated at those types of games. Yeah, dude.
Rage quit, bro.
Me too, dude. I can't do it. So I told myself I won't buy it. I won't get it because I know what's going to happen. I just literally watch people play it, and that's fine with me, dude.
I did watch a lot of like Ryan Kirby from Fit for King playing it on tour.
Yeah.
And Alex, the drummer for Silent Planet, was playing it. Trey, the drummer for Fit for King, was playing it. They were all playing it, and I would just kind of pop my head in and be like,
yeah.
Watch them die like 7 times in a row and be like, that looks like terrible. And
it's hard, dude. Did you play, did you ever play, I don't know if you're a Star Wars fan, did you ever play Jedi Fallen Order? Did you play that game?
I have, well, it came in a red box. I bought it from Redbox.
Oh,
but yeah,
sick.
I did. I do have it.
That game's hard, dude.
That game's hard.
It's so hard.
I'm just not, I don't think I'm great at the timing stuff.
I'm not.
I just want to blow shit up, and I think that's why Horizon is just so much more fun for me because I could stand back and just lob the grenades.
Yeah, dude.
Blow shit up.
So sick, dude. Yeah, man.
I like more of like the open world, like
me too.
RPGs. Actually, like Elden Ring, like to me, like there's no real story, I guess, and I like stories.
Me too.
I just don't want to just play to play. I like having something that like I can connect to, which I think games like The Last of Us, or even that's not really an RPG, but
dude, we can do a whole podcast based on The Last of Us, dude. Seriously, like my favorite game of all time. Did you like Part 2? Just really quick, I just got to know. What'd you think of Part 2, really quick, and then we'll dive into music.
I liked Part 2 of The Last of Us. I think that people bitched about it, but I think it's because a good story doesn't go where you want it to.
I agree with that. Yeah,
a good story goes where it needs to go, and I think that they opened up a lot of possibilities. And losing, and not to spoiler, 2 years now. Yeah, Joel. Spoiler alert: Joel dies. I think that was devastating for me, but I think that you needed to kind of, it was like the Obi-Wan, Ellie needed to lose her Obi-Wan.
Exactly,
dude. And I think that it was the fact that I like cried when it happened.
Dude, I bawled my eyes out.
It just shows you that like it's good writing, regardless if you like the way that it's going. I didn't want him to die.
No,
but the fact that it caused an emotional stir in me that kind of resonated and had made me angry. I was like, but then you realize, and then you learn all the pieces fit together at the end, and you forgive Abby. It's like it's a crazy roller coaster ride of a video game, and I think
it's insane.
It was really well done, and just the gameplay, the graphics, the story, the acting,
top notch.
That game's great. Naughty Dog, just to me, does no wrong, and I hope that they continue to do no wrong. Yeah,
I'm sure, dude. I'm sure we're going to get a part 3. My only complaint with that game is, I agree. I wasn't even mad that Joel died. Everyone was like I have some friends that won't even finish it. Like, nope, I won't do it. I'm like, well, it gets better. But I didn't like that. Yeah, I didn't like playing as Abby. I don't know. I just didn't like that part of the game. I didn't mind the story aspect. I just didn't really like playing as her. But you're right. It ties up at the end. That game was so big, dude. Like, that's seriously. That game was so massive and such an experience. Yeah. I am excited to see where part 3 go. I'm sure they're going to do a part 3. They have to. They got to tie everything up. So I'm like, dude.
Oh, they'll definitely do a part 3. It's probably going to take another 8 years.
Oh, but, yeah. Probably the end of the PlayStation 5. That's okay, dude. That's hilarious.
But
man.
I just one more touch on this before we move on.
Sure, please.
But it reminds me a lot of like reading a book. Okay, you read a
Yeah.
book and it switches character perspective, and you're kind of like, man, I don't mind this, but I want to go back and see what Ellie's doing, you know. And I think
Right.
that I had that same reaction too, where I'm playing as Abby, and I'm like, I don't want to play as Abby anymore. I want to play as Ellie. I don't want to know what the fuck's going on over there.
Yeah.
But I replayed it a second time, almost immediately, and was like,
I did too.
I appreciated that game a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot to appreciate for sure. I cried like I think like 3-4 times in that game, and I seriously am like, I think the game honestly is more about, like, a lot of people say it's about revenge, but I think I thought the game was more about
forgiveness.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's about forgiveness, especially the end when you realize they have that conversation, and you're just like, Ellie's like, I don't know if I can forgive you, but I like to try. And then Joel is gone, and it's just like, I was like, this is it. This is the reason why this game is so good, dude. I cried. I thought it was just. I felt like I was watching a movie.
Revenge drives the narrative, but forgiveness is what is the final piece, And I think
I agree.
There's so much character growth in that whole game.
Yeah.
And I think that it was, also, they're real. They feel real. They feel like real people. I was going to say they're real people. They're not. They're not real people. They're characters, but they feel like real people. Ellie's decision at the end comes with consequences. She goes home, and the love of her life, or
destroyed me, dude.
Gone, man. It's just like,
and
I'm hoping that I think Naughty Dog does that very good with their games, especially like Uncharted.
I love Uncharted.
Games like they just like the characters don't always make the right choices, but it's the human beings, man.
Exactly, dude. Like Uncharted 4, dude. Nathan Drake is super flawed in that game, dude. I hope you played Uncharted 4, I assume.
Oh, I played them all.
Dude, yeah.
He's super flawed in all the games. That's the best part about Nathan Drake is he's a very flawed character, and he makes bad choices.
He does,
because he's selfish, and I think that
he left his super hot wife to go on a freaking adventure with his brother that he thought was dead. I'm like, dude, I don't know how you can leave. I don't know if you leave Elena, man. I was like, dude, I could never lie to her. She's way too beautiful. So.
Yeah.
I know it's a cartoon, not a cartoon, but I know she's not real, but I'm like, dang, Nathan, you scored, dude. Good job, man.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Dude, seriously, I could do a whole podcast based on video games. That is no problem. That's like one of my favorite things ever. But, dude, again, I want to thank you so much for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it. This has been something I've been wanting to ask you. And I'm excited to tell people kind of how we kind of came into contact and how we kind of started talking. Because I told a couple of friends that I was going to be talking with you, and all my friends were like, you're seriously going to be talking to Tyler? I was like, yeah. They're like, dude, that's so freaking sick. Hallfront is awesome. And I was like, dude, I discovered you guys. Here's my journey of how I discovered you guys. I wasn't going to tell you this until the podcast. I just kind of want to see your genuine reaction. And when COVID hit, I was laid off from my job. And so I was literally out of work for 3.5 months. And so literally all I did was listen to music and play video games. And I discovered Dreambound, and I found you guys. You came up as a suggestive video. It was Still Life, which I know was a really popular song for you guys. And I listened to it. I was like, dude, this is actually really, really sick. And then I kind of went down the rabbit hole of listening to more of your stuff. And I was like, this is the type of music that I love, dude. I listened to Homewrecker all the way through, freaking just so good, dude. So good. And I love, as I talked to you kind of before the podcast, I love watching your guys' journey into becoming where you are now. And we kind of got into contact because I did a reaction to Treading Water, and I don't want to toot my own horn. I think I was the first one to do it. I'm just saying. I think I was the first reaction out. And I think it was you that left the comment. And I reached out to you on Instagram saying thank you, and you replied back and you asked me if I want to join the Hollowfront Facebook community, and everyone there has been super nice. And then we just kind of started talking. I was like, dude, I really like this guy, man. I really like this dude. So sincerely, man, it's just been awesome to watch you guys start from where you were to now. I think it's been absolutely incredible, dude. Seriously.
Appreciate that, Chandler. Very, very much.
Yeah, man.
And when people have the reaction that oh, you're talking I'm just normal. I'm just a normal dude.
Yeah.
Doing what I love, and I just am very grateful
Yeah.
for these opportunities that Holofront's getting, because I've been in 11 bands before this that had.
I did not know that. I had no idea you were in 11 bands before Holofront, dude.
Yeah, so it was, it's getting to this point finally 18 years after doing, starting, it's very it's a blessing for sure.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. So when did you start? You said you've been doing it for like 18 years. When did you start like doing like, kind of vocals, I guess? Like
screaming, I started when I was 14 years old.
Dang.
And
sick.
I'll be 32 this year, so it's coming up on 18 years. This is my 18th year.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy to think about, man. Yeah.
It is very crazy, because now I think back and I'm like, the very first show I ever did was like I wore like a stage outfit, and it was just so bad. And I showed up and nobody else was wearing like what I was wearing. I was like, I look like a nerd. I was like, I gotta switch up. But yeah, I think I liked heavier music. Even at, like I started with like, Korn and like those kind of bands, like in the 90s. Like Slipknot and like Mudvayne and those kind of like heavier bands.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know. I wanted to be Corey Taylor for a really long time. Like,
heck yeah, dude.
I just, if Corey Taylor would have passed away and someone was like, "Hey, do you want to be in Slipknot?" I would have been like, "Yeah,
heck yeah, dude, I'll do it."
That was like my 10-year-old dream, to be in Slipknot. It was like, an unrealistic dream, but it was just like I wanted to do what he did, and I got to see them live when I was 13.
Oh, sick.
Or 12 going on 13, I think I was. And I was just like blown away, man, just by like the crowd. Like that was my first show where it was like, just the pit was going insane and I was going insane. Everyone, I was young, so I was out of the pit. I wasn't in the pit, but I was up and I was watching, and I was like, I want to do this, man. It looks so much like fun. So I started my first band, which was like me and two dudes that barely played their instrument, didn't have a drummer.
Yeah.
Never went anywhere, never wrote a single thing. And I got lucky enough when I went to high school to meet kids that actually played instruments and actually were in like, they were in shitty bands. Our first bands were shitty. Looking back now on it, it's like, those bands fucking terrible. But,
that's hilarious, dude.
But like it was just fun, and it was we'd get I'll admit I didn't put much stock in my studies.
Oh, I never did, dude. I barely graduated.
I was barely graduated. Terrible student.
Oh yeah,
all I cared about was music.
Yeah, man.
And when I got out of school, I'd ride the bus, listening to music.
Yep.
I get home, put on some video games, listen to music. And
sounds like me, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
We're not very much different, in that aspect. And it's like, but I was lucky enough to at 14 find a full band, drummer, guitarist, bassist, me. And that was when that's when all the experience started. And, it felt like I was a rock star, and I look back on it now, I'm like, bro, I don't know shit about shit. But
that's hilarious.
It was good to start that young,
Sure, man.
A lot of experience, and the genres changed so much.
Oh yeah.
When I started, it was like Kill Switch and As Lay Dying, and and then as like the deathcore came around, and then I kind of switched into that kind of mode for a while, and I was just kind of absorbing, all these different styles from different vocalists, and kind of figuring out where I wanted to stand in all these subgenres. And I just realized metalcore is like my thing, man.
Oh yeah,
because it can be heavy, it can be melodic, it can be soft, it can be very, it's very like variety based, even though it's a genre.
That's what I say too. Like metalcore is like that's where I like it, dude. Because it can be super heavy. Like you guys have super heavy stuff, you have melodic stuff, and it's like I love that, dude. Like you don't need to go like super crazy. Like I don't mind some deathcore, but metalcore, dude, is like right where I'm at, dude. And honestly, man, you guys write good heavy. You just write really good music, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you, actually, the song that really hooked me to you guys, and I don't know if it's gonna be a surprise. I think most people probably say it was Still Life, which I do love that song. Dude, probably Left Behind was like the song I was like, holy crap, dude. Like, these guys are like legit, and I really like it. And I love the message in that song too, and like, it's so sick. It was so sick. And the positive feedback that I saw from that song was awesome. I was like, dude, these guys are awesome. And then, and then it led into like Loose Threads, which I think is a phenomenal album. I thought it was just absolutely terrific, dude. I listened to it like back to back. Great vocals. I'm like, dude, these guys got something. They got something really special, dude. How was it recording? Because you guys weren't signed at that point, were you, with Loose Threads? So you guys just did it kind of all independently?
Mm-hmm.
How was that, like, doing that, I guess, yeah.
The first 3 releases, so Homewrecker, Still Life, Loose Threads, was all done by our guitar player, then producer Lee.
Yeah,
because he just joined the band when we were recording The Price of Dreaming upcoming album.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was, like there was a lot of like no direction at the beginning. Like it was just like, let's just write music, and it
sure.
Was, by the time we got to Loose Threads, we kind of had an idea of where we wanted to go.
Yeah.
And, it was still like we were doing it, our fan base was getting bigger because of Still Life, because it was a popular song.
Yeah, dude.
Dreambound and Don't Fall Asleep did really well on like streaming and stuff. So we were getting attention from that. But we just kind of went into that record being like, let's try something different, but try to keep it still to our like, our style and our,
sure.
Our vision. And that was the album that we actually first had Dakota singing. And
yeah, I was gonna say Dakota's pretty new to the band, isn't he? Is that, or
3 years now?
3 years now.
But
yeah.
So about 3.5 now.
Mm-hmm.
He joined. But yeah, he was in the band for almost. Shit, he was in a band for a whole year before we recorded Loose Threads. So,
okay. He's got a great voice, dude.
Yeah, and we always knew he was gonna sing because we knew he could sing. That was, not to say that's the reason we picked him to join, but yeah, it was a pretty big reason why I was like, hey, do you want to join our band? Because he can play guitar and sing, and he's just very like creative, and he's good at what he does.
Yeah.
And so that's really where things started to shift, because Loose Threads was, we wanted to do something that was different. It was our first full-length album, and we just wanted to really come out with, both arms swinging, like,
dude, it swung, dude. It hit, brother. It really did, dude. It's an awesome. I don't know if I didn't mean to cut you off there. I didn't have a reaction channel back then, but I love reaction channels, and I love watching them, not just because I have one now, but, dude, the reactions to you guys' songs have just been awesome, especially, like, the title track, Loose Threads. I didn't want to, obviously I want to talk about the Price of Dreaming stuff as well, but it's like, dude, I was going to ask you this, actually, because I've been asking everybody I've talked to that's in a band, so I won't too much into it. There was somebody who said reaction channels are kind of and they're not really good content. What do you, as a guy in a band, what do you guys think of like reaction channels overall? Like, I'm just really curious what you guys think.
I like them.
Awesome.
I think that I watch every single one.
I figured, because you're a good guy.
I don't always comment on them because I'm pretty terrible at social media. I'm not a big poster, not a big commenter.
Yeah.
But I try to comment when I can, and when I'm,
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, I watch all of them, and I appreciate just the fact that people take time out of their day to make a video, because it's not like, after you do a few videos, I'm sure it gets easier, but it's not like the easiest thing in the world. You gotta edit, you gotta do videos, you gotta, and I think it's just cool that people take the time to, either praise or dislike it, because there's some reactions that didn't like the music, and I think that that's totally okay. I'm not out here trying to win everybody over.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to win, the majority.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
So.
As far as I've seen, it's been pretty positive. I really do think you guys have a really dedicated fan base, man. And like, I really like everyone who comments on my videos when I do your guys' stuff saying like, these guys are the up and coming, they're the best metalcore band out there right now. I'm like, dude, I agree. You guys are like definitely up there. I think just some of the best metalcore I've heard in such a long time, dude. And it's just awesome to see, because again, I've been a fan for such a long time, and I won't lie to you too, when I post the Holofront video, those actually do really well on my channel. People like Heritage is doing really good. I mean, people are like liking that one a lot. They're like, dude, this song is sick, you know. And I'm excited to talk about that song. I read some of the comments, and I'm like, guys, come on.
we've definitely pissed some people off, but I feel like that we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, it's a message that needed to be said, I feel like, and we'll talk about that for sure. But dude, I love your guys' music, and kind of tying into that here, I'm really curious. As I talked to you about before, I really like learning about the like we know Holofront, like we know that you scream, we know what you sing, but I like to get to know like the Tyler, like behind the scenes a little bit. And so I'm curious to see, I know you said that you were in like 11 plus bands before Holofront, and I'm sure you learned a lot of life lessons like with Holofront and with your other bands. So, like, what are some life lessons that you've taken away from just being in Holofront? Because again, I think you guys are a good example of like following your dream, because as you said in the beginning, dude, you guys went through some turmoil with the Dark Path tour, but you kept going. And most people be like, we can just go home and just be whatever, but you guys stuck it out, man. So like, what are some like life lessons you've learned personally for yourself while being in Holofront?
Well, don't give up, for one.
Yeah.
I think that I really learned that like life doesn't have to be what people tell you it needs to be, you know?
Yeah.
Like, people are like, all right, you graduate from school, you get married, have kids, get a job, stay at that job till you die, you know, basically, you know. And I hated that life, you know. Not that I hated, you know, having kids and stuff like that. I just hated that my life needed to be sacrificed in order to be, I guess, stable. Yeah. And even then, like, you're still not stable. No, you know, you know how America is with their their low wages and their high inflation, and
gosh, it's horrible.
You know, all that. But I just realized, like, life's too short, man. Like,
yeah, dude.
I don't want to waste my time, because I quit before Holofront. I quit music. You know, I was like, stuck the knife in it. I was like, I'm done. 11 failed bands. Yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm tired of playing for 5 people. I'm tired of being in bands that no one like, because I'm not an instrumental player. You know, I don't play instruments, so I have to be in a band with someone that can actually write and produce, you know, product, you know, like music. And I felt like a lot of bands that I was in before just didn't have that, and that's why I would quit and I would jump ship, because I would, you know, I wanted it to go somewhere, and I could never see a path, you know?
Sure. Yeah, man.
And with Holofront, you know, I like the quick story of Homewrecker, I got divorced, and you know, I mean, it was kind of a really big upset in my life. And
sure, of course.
Holofront came in my life at a time where I needed it, because I was dark in the hole, brother. I was just dude. Like, not, you know, and I saw no way out, and I literally, like, death was, you know, looming, you know. That's how I felt, man. Like, it was just like a cloud, and Holofront came in and saved me, you know. And I think that once I saw that the band was doing well, like, with streaming and, you know, music videos, I was like, I have to give this everything that I have to give it one more shot, you know. Holofront, I would say Holofront's my last band. Like, I'm not going to do this from the ground up, trying to build a new band ever again. Right. I'm going to ride this baby till the wheels fall off. And, yeah, man. And I feel like Holofront was always the band that I always wanted to be in. It took me a while to find it, you know? Yeah, man. So the life lesson, don't give up. Don't let life dictate how you live, or, you know, don't let the world, society dictate how you live your life, because you only have one. In my opinion, I feel like we only have one. Yeah, man. And you gotta really just give it everything that you got. And if you're content with the family life and working the 9 to 5, and, you know, that's more than okay. Right. That's you know, you just have to be happy and content with yourself. You can't. I don't want to look back 30, 40 years from now when I'm decrepit and be like, I I regret everything, you know. I'm just trying to, you know, I'm trying to live that life where I just knocked into my desk, but
Okay.
I'm trying to live that life that when I'm on my deathbed and someone asks you, do you regret your life? And I want to be like, no.
I love that, dude. I love that a lot. You touched on a lot of good points that I definitely have a strong belief in as well, where, you know, life sometimes can be so difficult, man. And sometimes it's like one of the things where you feel like death is the only way out. You're like, I can't handle this anymore, dude. Like, I don't care about anyone else. I don't care about anything except just getting out of here and just like ending the pain once and for all. But, you know, a lot of us, I think, have felt that way. And it's really hard to see, you know, it's really hard to, when you hear somebody say that, you're like, man, I want to, you just want to help as much as you can. Because I've been in that spot too, where like life just was not going how I wanted, and it was just a really difficult thing. But again, I think it's really cool that you didn't give up, that you're like, I'll try it at least one more time. And that one more time has led to, I think, a very good amount of success for you, because again, Hollowfront's been popping off, dude. Like, you guys are, people are really liking your stuff and really like your lyrics. I really relate to your guys' lyrics, and I really appreciate how honest you guys are with your, especially with, I mean, all of your music, but especially, again, like The Price of Dreaming, which we will talk about here later. Like, that song is incredible, because I really feel like it tells people, like, just don't give up. It's like straight to the point. Like, just don't give up. Live your dream, man. And like, that song actually made me cry. Like, not on camera, but listening to it a few times after, it just really hit me emotionally. I was like, dude, these guys, like, know what's up. And I really appreciate you guys just being honest with your guys' lyrics and everything. I think, I just really appreciate you sharing that, dude. I think that's a really powerful thing. And people need to hear that. People are afraid to talk about this mental health kind of stuff, because I always tell people, like, if you don't say something, it's just going to build up inside of you and it's going to explode. You're going to do something you regret. So I think you talking about it and you expressing it in Hollowfront, I think makes a big difference, not only for myself, but I think for other people as well, dude.
I think the difference between Hollowfront and like past projects was my past projects, like life wasn't, I wouldn't say my life was perfect.
Right.
But I was, you know, I was married, I had kids, and I didn't feel like I had any room to bitch, you know? I felt like I was, you know, and my old stuff, I didn't write lyrics like I do in Hollowfront. Like, this is my first band where I've, you know, really started to write lyrics that were true to things that were going on in my head.
Right.
And, you know, it's expanded now to other people in the band now, you know, Dakota expresses his ideas, and, you know,
I love that.
All the lyrics aren't just me anymore, you know? So, you know, opens up that variety. But yeah, like back in the day, I would write lyrics like, you know, about, the government, or you know, the aliens, or, you know, like just dumb shit. You know, it's like it's not like that. You know, like if people write lyrics like that, doesn't mean that they're dumb. To me, I think that when Hollowfront came around, it was more therapy for me. It was something that I needed to say, that I was, like you said, holding inside, and it was about to explode, and it would have been you know, bad. And, you know, I've never stopped having these issues. Like, even on Loose Threads, like a song like Wishful Thinking is literally a song about wanting to die.
Yeah.
At the time, that's, you know, a couple years after my divorce, and I was over that, but I still had other issues. You know, I still had life issues that were, you know, keeping me down. And a lot of that's probably, you know, my own doing, succumbing to, you know, to dark thoughts. And,
sure, man.
You know, and I you know, I still struggle today. You know, there's songs on this new record that, you know, and they're all honest, you know.
I love that, dude.
I wanted to, when Hollowfront started, I had no idea that it was going to touch as many people as it has.
Right.
And I'm very grateful that, you know, that it sucks having to share pain with people.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that, to think that you've thought about, you know, suicide or something that hurts. You know, I don't like that. I don't want that for anybody, but I feel like there is also a benefit to the unity of that feeling, because it's like you're not alone. You know, you have other people that you can talk to about that kind of stuff. That, you know, there's plenty of people I know that have thought about, you know, ending their lives, and, you know, it's a dark topic, and a lot of people don't. Maybe it makes people uncomfortable, but even if, you know, everyone's had dark thoughts, regardless of how deep they go, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think even people who don't struggle with depression and stuff like I do, like, I feel like people have always had those thoughts, like, what would it be like if I was kind of like gone, or what would it be like if no one knew who I was? And I realized, in life, you can't really do life alone. You can't. I don't think we're really designed that way. I think we need to have those people, whether it's family members or your kids or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. I feel like everyone is designed to at least have somebody in their life. And I always tell people, I'm a big advocate of like, just tell somebody that you trust. Like, you don't have to go on social media and be like, I'm sad, I don't know what to do. Like, you don't have to do that. I really don't like when people do that, but I do appreciate when someone reaches out, even to me, they'll reach out saying, I'm a little bit sad, can we talk? And I love that. And again, you're right, the dark thoughts are hard, but it's something that needs to be talked about. Like, they have to be. If we're not, we're just gonna crumble, dude, and we're not gonna be able to afford. And you're right, we have this one life, and we gotta do the best we can with what you want to do. Again, if you're happy and content, then that's totally fine. And even if you do struggle in it, at least you're doing something that you love. And I know what you're doing. I think you following your dream, man, is just, I think it's awesome. I think it's really, really cool, dude. Sincerely.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, man. So I got a couple more questions for you here. I really appreciate you, like, how honest you are and how cool you are, dude. Like, I know you've always have been, but I love learning about this about people, because again, a lot of people just see like you as like not just see you as like a screamer, but like that's what you do. And I think that's really cool. But I do want to ask you, how did you learn how to do it like correctly? Like, how did you get to the point where like, okay, this doesn't hurt anymore? Because a lot of people always ask me, they're like, dude, it hurts so bad. I'm like, well, you're doing it wrong, buddy. It shouldn't be hurting at all. So how did you learn how to do it?
By myself, man.
Love it. Love it.
I honestly like mimicking other people. Starting from Corey Taylor, like learning how to, yell like he does. He doesn't do like a traditional like metalcore scream,
right?
But he has some harsh vocals for sure. And I don't know. I was probably doing it terribly wrong for a while. I just know that I was. I don't want to say I'm like I was naturally gifted or anything. I definitely sucked when I started.
Yeah.
But I just learned by experience.
Yeah, dude.
I'm sure there are a lot of vocalists out there that have just learned how to do it and have I'm not perfect. I've had moments where I've thrown my voice out. I did it during the recording of not Loose Threads. I did it during the recording of Price of Dreaming.
Okay.
I blew out my voice. First week of the We Came as Romans tour that we did.
Yeah.
And I think that's just, we're humans. We're not going to be perfect all the time. And I think that as long as you can recognize when you're injured and kind of, take it easy, like, keep trying. Don't get discouraged because it hurt.
Yeah.
If you're seeing like some real, like, if you can't scream or talk for days on end, maybe you should like look into something else. There's way more resources now than there ever were when I started. They didn't have YouTube.
Yeah.
I would say, try to do that. But yeah, for me personally, I just learned through the fire, so to speak.
Love it, dude. That's awesome, man. I think a lot of people learn that way. Like, your vocals sound sick, so that's why I was like, dude, they're like super duper dope. Especially, dude, like, you got some of the best lows, man. Like, they go hard. I'm like,
I wish I could show you 2005 like me. Oh man, so bad. So bad. There was one band that had that recorded, but I've lost that. I wish I had that so bad. To like look back on and be like, wow, you're way better now,
Yeah, dude.
But like even like recordings that I did, like there's some that are floating online from old bands of mine, like from 2010, 2011. Just practicing, man, and just getting better and better. I think I'm better than when I started in Holloway. I just think it's just continuously using your instrument, because it is an instrument.
Yeah. Definitely, dude. I was just curious. I always love to hear how people learn how to do it. I think it's always just really fascinating. It's a lot of work, man. And I think that's cool. Again, you're really good. Like, I wasn't going to be like, Tyler, you need to do this a little. No, dude, you're phenomenal. You're really, really good, dude. Yeah, dude, absolutely. So this was a big question that I had for you as well, and then we'll kind of dive into some more music. I have two more big questions. I'm excited to talk about The Price of Dream, of what you can tell me. How was it transitioning from Dreambound to UNFD? Because I remember when you guys put out Wearing Thin, and everyone's like, dude, they signed to UNFD, that's so sick. And I'm like, that is sick. 'Cause, dude, they got like Era, like Moss the Flames, and like those are two of my favorite bands. So I'm like, dude, how was it like transitioning from Dreambound to UNFD? Like, how did that all kind of work for you guys? And why'd you choose UNFD, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, so Dreambound isn't like a label. They're just
like a promotional type thing.
Yeah, they're like a YouTube channel that just puts out music videos.
Okay.
And we released our first music video in 2017. It was Homewrecker, very first music video for Hollow Front, and it was out for, I don't know, 6-7 days or something. It had like 10,000 views, which was, to us, was crazy, you know.
Right.
Like, it's like, oh shit,
like,
whoa, music video. And it was doing well, and Dreambound hit us up and was like, hey, we have a promotional YouTube. We have, at the time they had like 60,000 followers or something, which was, you know, about 60,000 more than we had.
Yeah.
And we actually paid them the first time. Like, we gave them money to put our video on their channel. It was like $30 or something. It wasn't, you know, anything crazy.
Yeah.
And after that, it did well, and we did a few more music videos with them, and then we signed to a very, very small label called Beckwith Records.
I remember that. Yeah.
From Grand Rapids. And we continued to put our music out through Dreambound because they had a lot more, you know, they had a bigger fan base like on YouTube.
Right.
So it really helped us build, you know, and Still Life, you know, Still Life really helped us. It catapulted, you know, us into the views of Ryan Kirby, as you know, who became our manager. And
is he still your guys' manager? Or is he?
He's
that's sick.
He's one half of our manager. We have another man. We have two managers.
Oh, cool. Okay. Awesome.
So our manager Ryan is like he's like our day-to-day manager, and then we have our manager Corey, who is Fit for a King's manager.
Okay.
He does like our big stuff, like, you know, the big stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, once we got to a certain point and we were getting label attention, because we dropped off Beckwith Records pretty soon after Ryan, because Still Life was the only album that we needed to do through them. So we did that, and we fulfilled our contract, and then we decided to go DIY for Loose Threads. Yeah. Just because it just felt right. And when we released that, we got like 7 offers from labels.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's really cool.
Like Rise and, you know, Sharp Tone and like a bunch of different ones.
Oh, wow. I actually didn't know that. That's cool, man.
Yeah. And we just went with UNFD because it just felt like the best fit. You know, the offer was great, and they just felt like they were going to let us do what we wanted. It didn't feel like they were going to control us. And we kind of just were like, yeah, we want to continue to do our own thing, but we want to have that, you know, that backing and that relationship with a label that is, you know, starting to really pick up, because they, like Moz and Era, they all were announced like the same year that we were.
Yeah.
And they were picking up good bands left and right, and they, you know, there's some bands that are around there that have left, but, you know, their alumni is huge. You know, they've had big bands like, you know, Architects and
was it Northlane?
It was Northlane. Yeah. Northlane. Yeah. So very, very cool to just have the opportunity to work with such a good label, because they're expanding, and they're expanding to North America, which is why all these North American bands like
I was gonna say
like Moz, Silverstein, like all these bands.
That's right.
Jumping on to the UNFD train.
Yeah.
And it just felt right. Everything fell into place for us, and it felt right, and it continues to feel right. And you know,
awesome.
They've been amazing with The Price of Dreaming, and it'd be cool to actually, because, you know, they re-released Loose Threads, but it wasn't like our debut from them. It was just like they re-released our album.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have like a debut album that's coming out like through them, and it's, you know, it's very exciting.
That is awesome, dude. That's really cool. I've always wondered what it's like to like choose like a record label if they reach out to you, man. I'm sure you guys got to decide as a band what's the best choice, and something you did. Yeah, they've got. I mean, being like label mates with like Silverstein, dude. That's gotta be pretty cool. I mean, you got to boast about that a little. That's pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, I was listening to them when I started doing music
Right.
in 2004, 2005.
Yeah, they've been around forever, dude. And being on the same label as them, I'm sure that's just phenomenal. Just phenomenal,
Yeah,
dude.
it's cool because Lee actually helped them write 2 songs on their new album. Like, helped ghostwrite. He's allowed to talk about it, so I can say it.
Okay, I was like, oh, sick.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, he helped them, and he helped Devil Wears Prada on some new stuff. And yeah, Lee's a good songwriter, so it's cool to like have all these connections.
That is cool, dude. Devil Wears Prada and Hollowfront tour. We should make that happen, dude. That'd be pretty sick.
We did tour with them.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's right. You did. You did. That's right.
I would love to tour with them again, like as like maybe they're headlining and we're like a second or even direct would be sick.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, no, I would love to tour. Those guys are cool.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. That's super cool, dude. I love that. That's super awesome, man. So here's another question. I don't know if you've been asked this before. I know you mentioned that you have 2 sons, don't you?
Yep.
Okay. How is it touring with having like 2? Because your kids are pretty young, aren't they? You don't have to say their age, but they're pretty young, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How is it? Like touring and like leaving your, like, I guess in a sense, like leaving your kids behind for a little bit and then coming back to them, and is that hard to arrange, or how does that work? Being a dad, being in like a touring band essentially.
I have a great support system.
I love that, dude.
I actually live with my ex-wife, and she got remarried, and so she got remarried, and I live with her and her wife.
Okay.
And my kids, and they have a kid together, and so I come home and I spend all my time with my kids. I get a job, obviously, because I have to work.
Yeah.
But I, get to see them every day and spend time with them every day, and
I love that, dude.
do the dad thing, and yeah, it's tough. It's tough leaving every time. It doesn't get any easier to leave, but they're getting a little old. They're 11 and 7.
Yeah.
So, my oldest is definitely like way more understanding. Like, I don't think either of them like that I leave, but they understand that it's my dream. And,
I love that, dude.
They're very supportive, and my ex-wife is super supportive, and my mom and my grandma and my dad, and they're all supportive, and they know I've been doing this for so long, and I'm finally getting these opportunities. Like, it would have been so sad to like get these opportunities and have to turn them down
for sure
because of my situation. And I feel grateful, that they're allowing me to do that, even though it's hard sometimes, because I'm sure when I'm gone, it's not the easiest, taking care of 2 kids.
Right.
They really support me like fully. And I appreciate that like wholeheartedly.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's awesome that you have that support system. And I think that's, I know that could be a hard thing, but I think that's so cool that your kids realize like this is what you want to do. And sometimes, dude, kids can be the most like inspirational people. They're like, yeah, just the kids are like so cool, dude. They're like really, really awesome. And I love that they support you. I mean, I think that's just amazing. I'm sure, I wonder what it's like for them, like going to school and they're like, what does your dad do? Like, oh, well, let me show you really quick. I mean, that'd be awesome. I'd be like, dude, this is sick, dude.
So they came to see us on the Dark Path tour. That was their
cool.
Very first concert, and their very first time seeing me was when they came and see us in Grand Rapids.
Ooh.
We played a hometown show.
Cool.
And so they came out and they saw me, and the next day my oldest was telling people that my dad's famous, so I'm famous. Like, my dad's famous. And
that's really cute, dude.
His grandma works at the school as like an aide, like recess aide.
Yeah.
And so the little girl runs up to Preston, my oldest grandma, and goes, Preston's dad really a rock star, or is he just telling lies? And she's like, he is. I'm wearing his shirt, and she was wearing a Holloway shirt. And
that's like, sick.
It's just very cool. Like I don't consider myself famous. I'm not famous. I think that there are people that look at me and go, that guy's famous, but I'm not. I don't know if I really want to be famous. I don't think I'd ever want to be like Brad Pitt famous or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to have Brad Pitt money.
Oh, dude. Right?
Give me Brad Pitt money, but I don't want to be like bothered all the time. I want to just live my life. I can walk down the street and no one knows. I've only had one. I was at the mall once, and I was smashing food. I was stuffing my face. probably the worst time for someone to recognize me, but they came over and like, are you in Hollow Front? And I'm like, yeah. And I just was totally caught off guard because that doesn't happen very often, you know. And then the guy just, you know, we talked for a minute and it was super cool, but it was like, I was just like, you know, stuff in my face. And the guy comes over, I got a face full of food, and he's just like, Hollow Front, right? I'm like, yeah.
That's cool, dude. That must feel good. It must be nice that you could probably go to a store, go get some milk, and then just come home, and no one will probably bother you. But it's kind of cool when the occasional person recognizes you, like, oh, dude. Yeah,
if it was like every time I left the house, it'd probably get old. Like, walk out the door, be like, Hollow Front.
I'd be like, oh, just going back in.
Turn around, walk right back in. Like the very few interactions that I've had, like, of people like that out in the world, it's cool and fun.
Yeah,
it just shows that we're doing something right.
Absolutely, you are, dude. And speaking of doing something right, let's talk about The Price of Dreaming. Just as much as you can tell me, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This is probably one of my most hype albums of the year. Like, I seriously am so excited, dude. Like, I'm simping. I'm gonna say it. I'm simping, dude. I really am. I'm really excited, dude. So, what can you tell us about it that you're allowed to say? I know there's probably some things you can't say yet, which is totally fine. But I guess
it's so close. I could say whatever.
Really?
We've already released all of our singles.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Heritage was the
last one.
Yeah, it was the last. Yeah, the last single before the album comes out. You know, I mean,
excellent.
I'm just excited to finally have it out because we finished this album in March of 2021. So.
Oh dang! You guys been sitting for a bit then.
Yeah. It's we want to make sure that everything's right, you know, and we basically had to put in vinyl orders like that far. Sorry.
No, you're good, man.
That far in advance, we put out like a vinyl order, and it's still going to be late.
Yeah.
I think now they're saying like the vinyls are coming out late June, even though they were supposed to come out when the album comes out, which sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's just like that's the world we're living in right now, that vinyl production is so backed up.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just excited to actually put it out because I feel like it's our best work yet. And
dude,
I know I always say in every, you know, I've done, I don't know, probably like 8 or 9 interviews in the last week and a half, I think. And so every time I say I'm biased, of course I'm biased.
Yeah.
It's my band.
Yeah.
And I wrote it. So I of course I love it. But I don't think I've ever felt more excited for a release. Like, I was nervous for Still Life. I was nervous as hell for Loose Threads.
Yeah.
And now that I know that, you know, Loose Threads did well and people like because it always scared me throwing Dakota in. I was like, are people going to be like, oh, they're just going soft, you know, which we haven't, you know.
No, you guys are
both
heavy. Yeah, for sure.
And once I saw that things were kind of like, you know, very positive in that realm, I was like, all right, let's just double down.
Yeah, man.
And go harder with it. And I think that we did a real good job of actually writing an album and not just like a bunch of songs thrown onto an album. Yeah,
dude.
It was a cool collaborative effort. Like, we really worked as a team, which, not to say we didn't before, but it was just felt more, we were taking out of like our home area, which is where we recorded Loose Threads, Still Life, Home Wrecker, and thrown into Pennsylvania working with other producers, you know, like the first time ever. So it was a fish out of water, like, ordeal, but it was exciting, you know. It was fresh. It felt like a fresh place to like write a record. And
yeah, dude,
it's very good. I think if you liked Loose Threads, you'll love The Price of Dreaming.
Excellent.
And if you like really, really heavy stuff, you might not like it, because it like I said, we wrote songs. We didn't write like breakdowns, you know. We did there are breakdowns, but we didn't write songs around breakdowns. We wrote songs around writing songs.
For sure. That's sick, dude. That's awesome. And that's totally fine, dude. I wish more people would just understand, like, this is what they want to do and just be happy with it, man. And I know people are going to be happy, dude, because these songs have been so sick, dude. Who'd you guys record with, by the way? Who's the producer on this?
So we wrote everything with Lee, our guitar player, but then we went to Pennsylvania to work with Atrium Audio, which is Carson and Grant. They did like Moths to Flames last couple stuff.
Okay.
They did Era's last record.
Okay.
They did the last couple Polaris records. ABR, like just a bunch of really like high profile bands. I think they did Texas in July. I'm pretty sure they've just done a lot of good stuff.
Dude,
over the years.
That's sick. Because again, like Monster Flames stuff, their newer stuff, Era's like self-titled, dude. It sounds fantastic. So I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Your new album sounds great. The production on it is just so beefy, dude. Hits so hard. Your vocals just you sound like an angel. You really do, man.
A screaming angel.
A screaming angel, dude. I love it, dude.
That's my biker gang.
Yes. Dude,
the Screaming Angels.
Oh, can I please be in it, dude? We'll stand out together. We'll just be the Screaming Angels. Absolutely.
I feel like, are you? How tall are you?
I'm 6'1".
You're 6'1". I thought you were you're taller than me, so you could be like my bodyguard.
Yes.
You could be like my right hand man that we
Absolutely.
all got vests that say Screaming Angels on the back.
I love it, dude. I love it, man. I can't really grow a beard, but yeah, dude.
That's okay. It'll be like Sons of Anarchy without all the murder and drugs.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure, dude. I love that, man. All right, dude. Well, I just had a few more questions just about just the songs in general. If you would and then we'll get things rocking and rolling, dude. But I'm really excited to dive into these here. So Comatose, what is that song about, if you don't mind me asking?
So Comatose is it's a song about, I came up with a concept neck deep in the pandemic,
okay.
So very, very discouraging couple of years,
sure.
with everything, shows getting canceled.
Yeah.
The world, feel like the world's falling apart because of COVID and, all the political stuff that was happening at the time because you were coming up on the election. So
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a dark year.
It was, man.
And I just felt like everywhere I turned, something was on fire. And so that song is basically just being depressed. I'm a depressive person, so I'm depressed,
right.
When the world's fine.
Right.
But I'm neck deep in the worst time that I've ever experienced living. And
I feel you,
so
man.
it was just like being depressed it's hard to explain. It's like being in a dark hole already and then just going deeper and deeper because of the world, the outlook is grim,
For sure.
And I wrote that just being I felt like I was you're just you're just kind of floating, man. You're still going through the motions. You're going to work, you're going through the things, but it just didn't feel like living.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like you're just going through the motions. You're just in a coma. It's a walking coma.
Yeah.
Where you're just every day you're just I don't know why I'm here. I'm not having fun.
Right. Yeah, man.
And I just feel like I'm lost in a haze and that's what the song's about.
I love it, dude. I honestly, it was funny. I remember too, I was telling you, I was like, dude, I thought it was going to be a Skillet cover. I was like, sick. That'd be so
Comatose.
Also, I was gonna say too, I forgot to mention in the beginning, dude, you have a really good singing voice because on Loose Threads, the Reimagine or the other version that you guys did, you sound really good, man. Sincerely. I'm like, dude, he can sing. Honestly, I was wondering if maybe someday I can call you and you could maybe sing me to sleep. If you wouldn't mind.
Good night. Go the fuck to sleep.
Yeah, dude. I'd be like, what a great way to fall asleep, man. Did Tyler just sing it to me, dude? I love it. But you have a really good voice, dude. Super cool. Do you do any singing on this record? Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
So a song called Thick as Blood.
Okay.
I sing the chorus in that one, and I do the bridge.
Tyler, is my heart gonna melt?
You're gonna cry.
Oh well, I actually might. Prize of Dreaming made me cry, as I said. It really did.
That one. So the Thick as Blood, and I talked a little bit on the last podcast that I did.
Yeah.
It's just a really dark song, man.
Yeah,
about Brandon, our bass player, who he had a father figure who was there for him more than his own dad, who was murdered by his own son. And so it's super dark, and you know, and really when I was writing, because he didn't write any, he wrote some of the idea. He basically wrote on a piece of paper like his thoughts and feelings, and that's kind of like where we took the inspiration from.
For sure.
But I wrote that song from a point of my grandfather, who was not really my grandfather. He was my step grandpa, but he died of cancer, and I just felt like, you know, Brandon felt like he wasn't there a lot, you know, like when, you know, like you get turned to an adult, and, you know, you have these people that really you care about, but, you know, you just don't spend as much time with them because you have your own life that you got going on.
For sure, man.
And that's what the song is about, is like, it's regretting not spending more time with someone that isn't necessarily your family, but feels like family, you know. It's like, you know,
yeah, I love
that's
that,
what the song's about. So it's a dark song, but I do sing in the chorus and I sing in the bridge.
Dude, I'm so excited, man. I'm really excited.
Yeah. I like that song a lot. That song's, it was something that we just really wanted to do. You know, we have always one song where cause I sing on Left Behind.
Yeah.
I sing I sing a part of Afflicted. I don't sing the whole chorus, but I sing in part of it. Me and Dakota kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
I've interjected my singing voice here and there. But that one's like fully me. There's no Dakota or anybody. There's no screaming at all on the chorus. So it's just me singing.
Dang. Does Dakota do the verses then? Or is it like
he does some verse. He does some verse. I do some verse. And
dang, dude. That's hype. Yeah. That's really cool, man. I'm excited, dude.
It's a great song.
I'm really excited to hear that, man. It's going to be awesome. And as I said before, again, I think your lyrics are fantastic. And we already know what The Price of Dreaming is about, but I got to let you know, man, sincerely, like, that song actually, like, there's a part of that song, when I first heard it, when I did the reaction, I listened to it hurts to do reaction sometimes, but like I really want to listen to it, but like I need to give my genuine reaction to the song. And when I'm editing the video, I always just listen to it over and over just to kind of get it plugged into my brain. My favorite line in that song, it just really hit me. It's like, at an age when the world says I should be settled down, and we kind of talked about that in the beginning. That just hit me so hard because I feel like I'm still lost. Like I still don't know what I'm doing with my life, and that just hit me. It's like, dude, like the world just pounds you into doing this certain way, but it's like I just need to learn how to be happy. And that song really, dude, just that hits, dude. It hits really good. So honestly, I wish I could give you a hug for like writing that song, dude. Sincerely, man. It's thank you, dude. Yeah.
Virtual hug.
Yeah, dude. It's an amazing song, dude.
As a dad, I have 2 kids. And,
yeah.
You know, I definitely had a lot of people be like, when are you going to stop this whole music thing? You know, when are you going to music?
I can't believe people say that to you, dude. I think that's crazy.
It's like, you know, my own family, it's been, you know, like, and now, you know, I think it's once they see success,
they
become more
They're like,
supportive.
oh, okay.
Like, oh, yeah, you're actually, you know, doing things. You know, you're not just, because before it wasn't, you know, it was very, I sunk a lot of time into it, but I wasn't doing much, you know, compared to now.
Right.
So yeah, that line, like you said, it's just like, you know, the world expects you at a certain age to be, you know, tax paying,
exactly,
member of society, and you just gotta make sure that you're going to work every day, and you gotta make sure that you gotta, you know, and you gotta beat your kids. No, I was kidding.
No, you're good.
You know, but no, like you gotta. I think the world just puts this really like unreasonable expectation on all of us. You know?
Totally, dude.
You know, so I think that like we went back to what we were saying earlier. It's just I'm doing what I feel like is beneficial to my life. You know, and I feel like everyone should do that, and not everyone gets that opportunity, which is sad because who wants to go through life, you know, regretting living, you know?
For sure,
what's
dude.
The point? What's the point of being alive if you're not going to enjoy it and be happy? And everyone has struggles. There's always going to be struggles, but don't hold yourself back because the world tells you that you need to be a certain way, you know? Fly by the seat of your own pants, you know? Don't let the world, you know, hold you back.
Love that, dude. Love that song, man. And then I'll just have one more question about dude. We gotta talk about Heritage, because again, that song is so. Are you excited, dude? Well, the thing is, I don't know why people were so like mad. I listened to it a few times. I'm like, they're just saying a message that I feel like that needs to be said. It's just kind of, I mean, That's how I felt personally. I was like, I feel like they're just saying what they need to say, and I read some of the comments. I'm like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, people talk about it all the time.
We pissed off the racists, and we pissed off the anti-social justice warrior people. I don't know.
Yeah.
We pissed off Southerners. We pissed off conservatives. We pissed off the racists. But they're not really. I think people see things and they kind of just, they're talking about me. Like, we're not talking about Republicans,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
We're not. Are there Republicans that are racist? Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Are there Democrats that are racist? Absolutely.
Right.
You know, I always say, like, Democrats are the people they're racist behind closed doors.
Yeah.
You know, they're racist in their policies and all that.
For sure.
And a lot of systemic shit. And then you got people that are, but it's the extremes of those. Like, you have liberals that aren't extreme. You have conservatives that aren't extreme. But then you have those conservatives that are super extreme, that are, like, you know, waving their All Lives Matter flags and their
right.
Confederate flags, and, you know, and we're not speaking directly about a certain. We're talking about everyone.
Yeah.
We're talking about them all.
Yeah,
and yeah, we use the Confederate flag. If I had my way, there'd be other flags in that video, with Nazi
right.
flag and all sorts of. But we went with the Confederate flag because really that's what catapulted me to write the song. Was 2020, worst year of my life. You know, Black Lives Matter protests happening across the whole country, you know. And
yeah, man.
there's, you know, African Americans are being murdered by police officers, and
yeah,
you know,
dude.
And it's a widespread epidemic inside of this pandemic that we have going on. And and all I saw was people, instead of being like, yeah, that's fucked up, you know, like, I agree with you, they come out in droves to go against that, you know, saying, well, people don't understand that Black Lives Matter doesn't mean only Black Lives Matter.
Right.
It just means that Black Lives Matter, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like they matter, you know, to
right.
like the core, you know, system.
Yeah.
But people have to come in and be like, well, all lives matter. And it's like, well, yeah.
Well,
yeah. Like that goes without saying.
Right.
But there's a certain white people don't understand that we've spent a lot of time controlling things. Yeah. And slavery ended like 160 years ago or some shit like that, pretty close to that. And it's like, but it never really ended, you know, like systems and Jim Crow and all these things. All that never ended. Oh yeah, you know, it just moved into a different. It became legal. You know,
right?
Instead of owning a slave, now we have all these people in prison for, you know, smoking weed, or, you know, talking to a white lady, or, you know, whatever, you know, back in the day, you know. And it's like people don't understand that shit never ended for African Americans, right? You know? Like it even up to like the 60s, 70s, 80s. You know, there's still, and even now, like seeing. You know, that's the thing. Like, people are like, well, you guys are just social justice warriors. And it's like, no, like, we're literally just speaking from a place of truth. Like, I was pissed. Like, I went to a few Black Lives Matter protests. And when you have people, like, we were peaceful, bro. We were chilling. Right. We were just, you know, marching, and we were saying the things that needed to be said. But you have all these people that are throwing shit. And, you know, waving their All Lives Matter flags and their Confederate flags, and I live in Michigan. And it's like, why do we even have Confederate flags up here? We're in the Union, bro. Yeah. Like, and I just think people are misguided, and I think that they want to, just as much as people want to belong, like as African Americans want to belong, those people want to belong, and they want to belong to something that's outdated and you know, something that should have died in 1865, you know, right? That flag persisted, and it, you know, the KKK was waving it. So, you know, when I see someone that's like KKK, straight up anti all races except for white people, you know, white pride or whatever. Yeah, I immediately in my brain as a human being going, I'm against that, and I think that's why, you know, that's why we wrote the song. And Dakota, being an African American, and he's Filipino and he's Mexican and he's, you know, he's a, you know, he's a melting pot of all these different nationalities, and he's dealt with this thing his whole life. You know, he's dealt with being called the N-word, and
dude, it sucks.
And people just don't get it. They want to feel like the victim, and I think that's why people are upset about the song, because they feel victimized because they're lumped into that because they're waving the flag. They get lumped into that category.
I know, man. It's horrible, dude. Being African American myself, dude, that whole George Floyd, it was just so hard, dude. Like I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, dude, I was like afraid to go to the store for a while, because I was like, dude, someone's gonna like hit me or like try to kill me or something, dude. Like I was so terrified of like all that. And yeah, dude, like again, racism, any excuse to talk about this movie, I can't. I don't know if you like, have you ever seen Get Out? Have you seen that movie?
Yeah,
dude,
absolutely.
I love that movie because honestly, it really opened my eyes going like, dude, there's still racism today. Like, I think that movie is so like in the now, where I'm just like, man, I've dealt with some of the stuff Dakota has dealt with. It sucks, dude. Being one of the only black kids, like I'm half black, half white, but being one of the only black kids at school, dude, like it sucks. It was terrible. Like I got made fun of like all the time just because I was like, I looked different. Like it was really frustrating, dude. And so I had a feeling that's what the song was talking about. I just wanted to hear from your perspective. And I think it's a very powerful song. It's heavy. It's cool that Dakota screams on it, by the way. I think that's awesome. Yeah. I was like, that's sick.
You know, that was strategically done because Dakota, I've always known Dakota can scream. He's screamed in other bands that he's been in.
Oh, okay.
And I just wanted, you know, and I as a white man, I don't really have, you know, and I have my opinions, which I've just spouted, you know, all over this podcast.
All good.
And down to the nitty gritty of the situation, I don't really have two legs to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have, like, my opinion is, I feel like it's a valid opinion.
Sure.
But I've never experienced what you guys have experienced. So really, that's why, like, when I came up with the idea, I made sure that Dakota was on board, because I would never write a song like that unless, you know, Dakota was on board.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, I'm on board, man. I have shit that I want to say.
I love that, dude.
It's just a shitty time, man.
It really, yeah, dude.
And watching all those protests and those riots and all that stuff was just, it was more discouraging on top of the shit that we were already dealing with. And I like I said, it's not talking about Southern people, not talking about conservatives, it's talking about everything. It's talking about, if you wave that flag and you have said the N-word, or you think that you are somehow more superior, or that your heritage, you know, because African Americans don't have heritage like we do, because they don't know where the fuck they came from.
It's true, like, dude. You're right. Yeah.
Like I know down to the detail where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's a privilege that I have that, like, you don't have.
Right.
Dakota doesn't have. Yeah. And it's sad that people base people's worth on the color of their skin, when that really doesn't matter. It's about the merit of the person. And that's why I say this song is not a political song. It's a humanity,
very much so,
rights issue song.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has, like, and we're not talking about African Americans, and we're encompassing it all. You know, like, look what happened with Chinese Americans when COVID hit.
Right.
You know, racism against, you know, and it, like, 9/11.
Yeah.
Muslims, like people are just so blinded. They have these blinders on, and you grew up in Podunk, Mississippi or wherever, and all you know is that flag. Well, that's fine, you know.
Right.
Maybe you're not a bad person. I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm trying to say, look at the flag and look what it actually stands for. It's not just about rebellion, you know.
Right.
Like, that's what, you know, that's the main argument, is that it's about rebellion. It's like, well, yeah, but what were you rebelling for? To hold people as slaves, like, to continue your slave trade, and, you know, and it's just gross.
Yeah,
you know?
it really is, dude. Honestly, man, I actually really appreciate you saying all that, because I feel like that needed to be said. I think it's a really powerful song, and I think it needed, again, people don't like talking about the hard stuff or stuff that is impacting the world right now to this day or back then or whatever. So I think it's a very powerful song. I think it's a wonderful song. Super heavy, super great breakdown. Your vocal just made me melt, dude. I was like, dang, he means business, dude. He really does. So
yeah, I was pissed off, and you know,
man.
And people have said libtard and snowflake, and it's like, I don't fall on any of those spectrums.
Right.
I'm a human being.
Yeah.
That think all human beings should be treated equal. And there are people out there that legit don't think racism exists.
No.
Like there's a guy out there that's like 99.9% of people are not racist. I was like, well, brother, your statistics are fucked up, because I've seen at least more than that, like,
yeah. Oh gosh.
It's just, you can't change those people's mind. It was never a song that was like, we're trying to change the world.
Yeah.
It's literally just an honest song about how we were feeling, and fuck your heritage. Because if you're gonna use your heritage, if you use any heritage to tear down somebody, fuck your heritage.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing more there's nothing worse than a person that is, trying to say this correctly.
No, you're good, dude. Yeah, man.
Nothing worse than someone that refuses to see the world for what it is.
Right.
Not, they just want to keep they want to keep their blinders on, and they want to just continue to live their, unoppressed life, which is, I've never had a speeding ticket. I've been pulled over so many times.
Mm-hmm.
Never been pulled out of my car, never been searched, never, I have a privilege that I didn't know that I had until I grew up, and some people just refuse to believe that. They think that, and just because you're poor doesn't mean that you don't have privilege.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure, man. Well, again, thank you for sharing all that, dude. Sincerely, that was absolutely very eye-opening, and I think that's going to really help people understand kind of the meaning behind the song, because I know a lot of people were probably very curious about it. So there you go, everybody. That's the meaning behind Heritage, and I think it's a great song, dude. But seriously, man, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything that you would like to say, like in regards to like the price of dreaming or anything? I'll make sure to plug all this for you. Is there anything that you would like to say?
Yeah, the new album Price of Dreaming comes out May 27th. I believe I'm wholly biased. I'm a biased person. I'm biased to this situation, but I think it's the best work we've ever done. I just am really excited for people to hear it, and you can go and get a physical. I don't know when you're going to release this podcast, but you can either, if it's before the album comes out, you can pre-order still at 2400.net or unfdstore.com/Hollowfront. Go pick something up. Those first week sales are really they're really integral to the process of being in a band. Just those. We want to break records from our loose threads. Loose threads really set a high bar for us, and we want to continue to raise the bar and get better and improve. And we can't do that without all of you.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah. I love it, man. Tyler, dude, from the bottom of my heart, dude, thank you so much for coming on, man. Like, I'm a huge fan, sincerely. That's why I wanted you to come on. But, dude, I feel like I really got to know you, like, more as, like, a person, which I wanted to do. And so, like, thank you so much, dude. Like, I consider you, like a true friend, and I really appreciate you coming on, just telling your story, man. And I think this is really going to help a lot of people. So I really appreciate you, dude.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you having me. And make sure when we come to Portland in the summer, if you're available, let me know. I will, on the house, come on out.
Dude. Awesome. I really appreciate that, dude. Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. I'll be around, so we'll definitely we'll talk about that, man, for sure. But thanks again, dude. I really appreciate your time, Tyler. Thank you, dude.
Yep. Awesome, man.
Yeah, dude.